Hello, I'm Paul Stankard. I recently invited Dr. Burt Wasserman here to discuss the nuances of craft, design, and art. Burt is a wonderfully talented person who has dedicated his life to pursuing excellence. And the conversation was very meaningful to me, and I hope you enjoy it. I've always been fascinated with your emotional and intellectual interest in great art and how you share that with so many people.
You just mentioned the magic word. It's all a matter of sharing, of exchanging feelings, ideas, the human experience in a language of vision. And there are many approaches to studying art, design, and craft, but there has to be a realization that they're all part of the same thing.
Well said, because this first segment, I'm looking forward to discussing with you art, design, and craft. Your love of beauty and your enthusiasm for the history of art and your commitment to your own work as a painter makes you special.
Well, thank you. You're very kind, Paul. But it's the interaction, the combination of many areas of stimulus, response, and excitement over what people can share with each other through the language of vision in order to give expression to ideas and to feelings that are part of the human experience in all of its vastness, in all of its variety.
Well, well said, because here I am, and when I think of myself in the simplest terms, I'm an object maker. And I'm going to pull you into my world of crafting glass.
Paul, I have to tell you, when you use those words, it calls to my mind that someone like Michelangelo was an object maker when he put together the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome. It took him years, and he worked on it with dedication, with passion, with attachment, until it was all complete. He couldn't rest until it was all done, and it was as perfect as he could make it. He was, like you, an object maker, but a very special kind of object, an art object.
Yes, and also a sculptor with David. Very, very, very dramatic and inspirational.
Another example, yeah. Right.
But you know, Burt, I had the privilege of listening to you lecture on the nuances that differentiate art, design, and craft. And I thought that could be a wonderful theme for us to discuss at the beginning of this series.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you heartily. And I say, let's get right into it. It's not arithmetic. There's no 1 and 1 equals 2. That's
exactly.
Absolute for everybody at all times and all places. Different people in a free society have different ideas, different feelings, different things that nudge them to say, to do what gives meaning to their life.
Science is exact. 2 and 2 is 4.
Right.
Art is a banana and an apple equals an orange.
2 and 2 equals 4, maybe.
In art.
Right, that's art. There's no certainty.
Glass and glassblowing went to college.
That's beautiful.
And it went to college to be compatible with a BFA curriculum. Makers felt that an object could be a work of art as successfully as a painting or a sculpture.
You know, Paul, this is interesting. A few moments ago, we talked about Michelangelo. And the great contribution that Michelangelo makes, among many great contributions, but in the time of the Renaissance, a new concept comes into being. Up till then, in the Western world, during the medieval era, the artist was primarily an artisan, a stonemason, a woodworker, a glass blower, right? Working
goldsmith,
in gold, all the different areas
material
that we traditionally think of as craft. And along come people like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, and they say, yes, there is craft to what we do, but there is also poetry and philosophy to what we do. And we're concerned with what it means to be a human being, and how do we give voice to our humanity through art form.
the idea.
The idea, the impulse, the push from within.
I love when, as an artist, we internalize what we care about. And we educate ourselves to what we care about. And through the magic of art making, we transmit that idea into the material.
Yes, yes.
That's a transformation
The
that's
more
very, very magical.
of your whole being you pour into your work, the richer, the more vital, the more potentially meaningful it becomes.
It's a way of making it personal.
On the one hand, it's personal. On the other hand, it goes beyond the individual and gives voice to universal feelings, universal awarenesses that bring all people together in their common heritage of being part of the human stream.
And it has a visual language that is universal.
Which we call design.
Design. Burt, we didn't plan this.
No.
But that segues into the next category,
Well,
design.
If art is the means by which we address feelings and ideas and give voice to them in whatever media, whether it be on the stage, whether it be a poem, whether it be a beautiful glass sculpture, it is shaped and formed in a language called design. And it's like, just as the language of English is given voice in verbs, nouns, pronouns,
Sure.
the language of art, design, gives voice to shapes, textures, colors, patterns, space.
Well
and
said.
Giving the shape a particular appearance is part of the craft of the artist.
Exactly. Exactly.
You can't have one proverbially without the other. They go together. They take place in the human heart, in the human soul. They're transmitted through our hands and our capacity to deal with materials that can be seen, looked at, felt by somebody else. Therein is the communication between the artist and his or her potential audience.
Yeah.
It takes the object, and objects don't come into existence unless object makers create them. It takes the object to be the means of sharing in what artists have to express through their work. And the object is concrete. It's a physical reality. It's something, if it's music, we can hear it. If it's a painting, we see it. If it's a sculpture, we touch it.
Yeah.
We admire it in space. It has a tangibility